Welcome back everybody to another CSS tutorial. This is Mr. Rivera, and today I'm going to be talking to you about classes. Now, a couple of tutorials ago, I told you about the body selector, and we had said that that's a broader selection than our H1, than our P tags, and I told you could get more specific. So today we're going to be getting more specific than just like an H1 or a P tag selector. We're going to look at a thing called class. So right here, we already have a website with a body selector, and it's coloring all the text green. But what if I want to select a few of these elements? For example, let's say the H1 and the P tag, and I want to turn them a different color. Let's say I want to turn them maroon, right? So we could do something called class. Now, there's two parts to this setup, and the first setup you need to do is in your CSS file. So in the selector name, instead of using a selector such as a tag like body, what you're going to want to do is you're going to use the dot. You're just going to put a period. And then you're going to come up with a name. Now, the name really doesn't matter what you call it, but we do recommend that you use a descriptive name. So that way you know what you're talking about. So here I'm going to go ahead and put dot my color. So I know it's my color that I'm using. Okay, and we would set up everything the exact same way as we would with a regular selector with our rule set. So right here I'm going to put dot my color, let's go ahead and do maroon. All right. So nothing's going to change because I haven't created that, or I've already created the class, but I haven't added that class attribute to my HTML file. So let's go ahead and go to our HTML file. And let's go ahead and jump into this H1 opening tag. Now, you've dealt with attributes before, like this href is an attribute. In your image, source equals, that's an attribute. Alt equals, this is another attribute. So these go inside the actual tag. So I'm going to go inside that tag right before the less than symbol, and I'm going to type in the word class. Okay, so class equals. And in quotes, I'm going to go ahead and put in, if I jump back, what I put here, my color. Don't put the period though, just what comes after the period. So it would just be my color, capital C. So my, capital C, color, and end quote. So immediately this takes on that property. It takes on the color property. And again, you got more specific than body. Body colored everything, but specifically you said class, I want you to go ahead and take on this color. So there you go, my color. Now I could go ahead and do that to the P tag. If I go in there and I type in class equals my color, now this takes on that as well, that property. I could even go into one of these A tags, and after the href I could type in class equals and then my color, and there you go again. And it just colors that that specific one. It did not color food or hobbies because I didn't put that class tag. Now I could put it in there as well, just so you could see how that works. Okay, so the class tag or the class selector and adding it as an attribute is a very powerful tool that you could use. And I know one thing, if you guys notice, I did add my license because I see an issue with some students kind of messing around with their image selector. So I'm going to go ahead and do image. And once they discover how to modify their image, and I'm going to go ahead and do, let's say, width 400 pixels, that's fine. It shrinks this, but then this becomes 400 pixels. And I believe this is about 80 pixels or so. Let me check. Here it is. It's about 88 pixels by 31. So this becomes an issue. Here's a quick fix using the class and the class selector. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and or I'll go ahead and leave that there, but I'm going to create another class. I'm going to call it dot pic. Okay, so that stands for all my pictures that I'm going to want, and I'm going to put every single picture in that class except for this one. I'm going to kind of exclude it from that class so it doesn't take that new property. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this over. So I'm going to go width 400 pixels. I'm going to get rid of this. All right, so if I wanted something like, let's say I wanted to do border style solid, border width 10 pixels. and border color green. I could go ahead and do that. And like I said, nothing's going to take that on just yet until I go ahead and add the class attribute to it. So let's go to our image. It's right here. Right before this slash, I'm going to put class equals pick. And check that out. Only this image takes on that property. This is excluded. Whatever you do, do not go into, let's see, where is it? Do not go into this image tag. There it is. Do not go into this image tag and add class equals pick, because now it's going to take that on too. So if we leave it alone like that, whoops, didn't mean to do that. If we leave it alone like that, that's great. That actually works. And now I could go to all my images and put class. Let's see, where is it? You'll just put it like this, class pick, and you could go ahead and modify this to whatever you want, and only those that are part of that class will take on these properties. Okay, but again, just make sure that they're linked on the top with your CSS file, and you could use that class. And if you're using separate CSS files or different style sheets, make sure that you link them appropriately and that you add this .pick selector or class selector and add the properties that you want for that. Okay, so I hope this helps you out, especially with this issue where students are saying that this image right here for the CC or their Creative Commons license is getting too big when they modify their images. So go ahead and mess around with that. If you guys have any questions, I know it's kind of tricky, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Okay, and I believe this is the last tutorial for all your lessons. However, I'm going to try to go ahead and create a couple of more tutorials with some advanced CSS techniques. So I'll see you guys next time.